here with the magnificent and ambitious, talented, wonderful, beautiful Srdjan Mikuljan. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Don't be nervous. I'm nervous. Okay. Srdjan is a teacher and professional dancer at the Manhattan Ballroom Dance Studio on 36th Street in New York. He also happens to be my own personal instructor, so I'm just really excited and really honored that you will allow us to come to your personal space. Okay, so let's just get started. So as a child growing up in Serbia, were you encouraged by your family or peers to do dance?
Yes, I was always driven and encouraged by that side. They were big support.
Like who? Which family members?
Well, my dad, my mom, my grandma, big support. My grandma always made costumes for us, my partners, so it was a really big thing in our family since I started when I was 6 years old.
Was it your idea? Or?
No, my dad actually signed me up for the dance lessons.
Oh, really?
Yes, and then he went basically every lesson that I had, every competition that I had, every rehearsal that we had, he was there every night.
Was he ever a dancer, or did he ever want to be a dancer?
No, actually, I don't have one dancer in my family.
Really?
Only one.
But he never told you. You know how some parents want to live vicariously through their child?
Yes.
Their children?
Yeah, I don't have one parent who's a dancer.
Yeah. Wow. So when you first started your dance lesson, how was that for you?
Well, of course, I was very young. There's a group of children were running around. You know, it's more fun than it's more mechanical. And then through the years and competitions and hanging out with friends, and you just get more serious and serious and serious to the point where I would choose to go to practice than a birthday party. I would choose competition over going to vacation with my school. So it was getting more and more serious as I was growing up.
So you were disciplined at a very young age?
Yes.
Did you teach yourself discipline?
I think I taught myself along the way because my family, my dad and my mom were disciplined, and it was very important about house manners and how you behave and the culture and all of that. But I think while I was getting older, I think that I got myself into this one because I started working at a really young age. I was 15 when I started working, and then I earned my own money, paid my own lessons later, traveled to other cities to take lessons. So I think at that point I become more mature than my friends.
Right. Was there anyone in your community who despised you for dancing or tried to discourage you from it?
Well, not really, because I don't like negativity. My family is the same. So if anything happened along the way, I would just remove myself from that area. And then if there's anybody in our family that didn't like it, nobody really didn't like it. So we didn't have that experience. I think that if that does exist, then it would be a bad thing. It would distract you. But the other way, my family was a big support.
So did you ever encourage some of your friends to join you?
Yeah, I did actually. And then I met some of my best friends through dancing. When I started teaching in my local town, I actually met my best friend over there. She came to my classes, and then we became best friends. And then she was coming to my group all the time. And a lot of my friends started dancing because of me, but then a lot of my friends are in the dance industry. So it's like a little circle of friends. We're all close, and even though we live in Hong Kong, Serbia, France, Canada, we're all close. We don't talk to each other on a daily basis.
So did you always start with Latin dancing, or did you have a background of different genres?
Well, usually when we start as kids, you go to 10 dance, which would be old Latin, it would be standard Latin, so it would be 10 dance. I was a 10 dance dancer since, I think, throughout the years. Maybe 6 years ago, I decided to go to Latin. Then I just focused on Latin, then became professional and just became professional.
What is it about the Latin dance?
I think for me it's more music, it's the rhythm, it's the energy that you have in your body.
Your body's like ridiculous.
It's different than the ballroom. Ballroom is more about elegance and about, it's that big ballroom dresses and a tuxedo. It's different kind of view than Latin. Latin is more fast, the girls are ridiculously beautiful. It's all that culture that brings you to dance, and just when you hear the samba, you're just excited of the rhythm. Your body starts moving in different positions.
Explain like different Latin
favorite one. I love all of them.
Which one is the most difficult?
When I first started, well, I don't really remember because I used to all 5 of them. So
Which one
I
now that you
love.
feel like it's still challenging? You still have to work at it.
I think each dance is challenging for some because it's a different storyline you have to tell. If it's samba, it's more about the Brazil, the energy they have to sell. The rumba is more sensual and it will be more slowing and bluesy movements. Interact with the girl, and the pasadolo again, it's more aggressive and energetic. It's Spanish game, it's a bullfight, so it's each dance. It's different. I see it differently. I see the storyline.
Which one is more difficult to teach?
To teach,
Don't think about me, think about
or Jessica.
No.
No, but at this point, while I'm still getting education as well as a pro professional, I don't find any dance difficult to teach. It's all how you teach your student, how your student learns, what is the learning curve that she takes. It takes time for each dance. Not one can be done in one day, 1 week, 1 year. It takes a lot, but there's stages that you go through. You learn the step sequence, you learn the positions and the patterns, then you start learning a little bit of technique like we did, and then focus on that technique for a longer period of time until you get more comfortable and your body learns the muscle that you're moving awake, because dancing-wise, you don't really move the muscles that you move when you're walking on the street. Right? So it's different. When you learn all of that, then you can become more comfortable, then you create your own style. And then you can say, oh my gosh, she's dancing so good, like she just has something that makes me attracted to watch her. That's what we look like top professional couples. Each couple has something that is very different and in a unique way. And you can be like, oh my god, they're so fast, but then they're so gentle with each other. The movements are so finished and it's very different.
So what factors persuaded you to cultivate your talent in New York instead of in Serbia? Wake up! Okay, so what factors, basically I'm just asking what made you here.
Oh, motivation.
Yeah. So what factors persuaded you to come to New York to cultivate your talent instead of in Serbia?
Well, growing up in Serbia was hard because the country itself, it's not, I think it went through economic crisis. So at that point, it was very hard for my parents to make money and to pay our bills and to take lessons and to travel and to just grow in the country that is not doing the best. So when I was in my faculty, I saw a flyer for the work and travel program where you work in the United States for 6 months, you come back, finish your faculty. And I thought that could be an opportunity for me to leave and just to see where it's going to go. I didn't really think about coming back. In my deep down, I didn't, because I thought, okay, I'm leaving now. This is what I want to do, and I just have to accept it. And it was, of course, it was a big risk, but it was scary and it was a long road. But in the end, it's worth it. When I turned my background to see what I did so far for being in the States for 4.5 years, I think it's good. So by the point coming to the States, you realize you face all your fears. All those quotes are right. You face all your fears and it's just you. There's nobody. It's literally you, and you train yourself. You learn yourself what to do, what are the good habits, what are the bad ones. You learn how to eat good and just live life alone.
Was it a culture shock for you to come to New York?
Yeah, it was. Growing up in a country that has only one nationality, right? Coming to New York, which has like 50,000 different nationality and different cultures and different people, and you have good people, bad people, crazy people, and especially New York.
Yeah, I was gonna say
New York is, I was like, when I think about it, I was like, oh my god, really? From all the cities you went to New York?
Right, exactly.
But I think that I love it. I feel like I belong in New York since I was in high school. That's how I felt, because I felt that I don't belong in my country. I'm too hyper, I'm too motivated, I'm too ambitious. In the environment where I grew up, I felt like, okay, so I'm not more mellow. Yeah, it was way more mellow. Like my parents will ask me, why are you working all the time? Why are you practicing all the time? Like, you're supposed to go out. You're supposed to, party. I'm like, why? Like, I want to, learn more. I want to work. I want to have my own business and stuff like that. So coming here give me an opportunity to first to be on my own and just to figure out everything by myself. How I'm going to do it. This is how I'm going to do it. I research, I do it, I train myself, and I do it. I just, as Nike said, I just do it. And somehow, some way, the result came out really good. The product came out really good.
Well, you said your father and your parents supported you against regardless. But were they a little hesitant for you to come all the way to New York?
Yes, it was well, of course, every parent would love his son or daughter to go to the world, to go to the world and explore. And my mom told me when I was leaving, I love you, but I can't cut your wings. If you want to go, you go. I'm worried. You're alone. You're 21. The first airplane ride, I never flew an airplane. Yeah, it was complete 360. First time traveling up the country. First time going to the airport. So yeah, it was that was the situation. And then I came, and it was, they were a little bit against it. My dad was a little bit against it because, it's New York. We saw so many stuff on TV, and we believe everything in every movies, and they're killing people on the street. And, when he heard all that, he was just like, oh my God, no. And then of course we have to talk, and I told him that I can't stay here. I don't belong here. I just have to go, and if it doesn't go well, come back. So, of course we had arguments, every parent with their son and daughters, but he finally agreed. Last week we were leaving, he accepted it. I was like, okay, you're leaving, and I see that this is what you want to do, and you were serious about it. Because he didn't believe me at the first point. When I told him that I'm going 6 months before the trip, when I'm applying for the visa, he was like, no, that's a joke. And I'm like, okay. I just said, okay, I can't get stressed out about it or negative. I was okay, I'll work and I'll make my money. And then he was just like, are you going? I'm like, yeah, I'm going. And then when I booked the ticket and everything,
he was like, okay, wait a minute.
Okay, let's sit down and talk.
Right.
But yeah.
I read in your biography that your only accessories were one duffel bag and maybe less than $100 or a little over.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Tell us about your journey. So now you're on a flight.
Yeah, it was
coming here by yourself.
Yeah, I came in and then I was supposed to figure out, because first when I came, I worked in an amusement park. That was the working visa. I worked there for 2 months and I was making, minimal paycheck. It was $250 for 2 weeks, no, 3 weeks, and my rent was $500. So it was
Did you share an apartment?
Yeah, I shared an apartment with 10 people. Okay. It was 5 bedroom.
Right.
It was a reality check. It was to that point where I ate $1 food and noodle soups and stuff like that, whatever you could buy for 99 cents.
Right.
And then at that point it was okay, I was comfortable and making it. But then I came to New York to have an interview in the studio. And
was it the studio?
No, it was a different studio. And the winter came in, and the only thing I had was a sweatshirt. That's it. I did not have a jacket. I did not have boots. Nothing. I had sneakers, gym sneakers, and it was the worst winter in New York. It was I don't know, 3-4 feet of snow. So it was really bad. But by the time I got a job in that studio, I started making some money. I bought a leather jacket in front of 21 for $20. And that's the only thing I could afford. And I remember my grandma, she made me a scarf, and she sent that scarf to the mail because she was like, don't spend money, I'll make you one. And I still have it today. After 4 years. And I know 4 years is nothing when you stay 4 years. When you have something that precious and homemade, you keep it, and it's better than any Gucci bag that I own today. It's different.
I like how you slid that in there.
It's different. When it's made from home, it doesn't have the price. Literally.
So I think it's incredible that you still take dancing seriously and you still take professional dance lessons yourself. Because I feel like some people, if they make it and they compete and they win a few trophies, that's it. They don't practice anymore. They feel like they're it, they won, But I think it's really incredible that you still humble yourself. That there's still more to learn. So tell us about your hours of practicing. How many hours a week or a day do you give yourself to practice, not including teaching?
Well, first I want to say something. What you said about winning trophies. There's many groups of people in this industry that you can put people in, and then I believe that as long as you're alive, you never stop learning. Even my coach, that she retired, and she still learns stuff. So it's if you really want to be a professional in the industry, and you want to know, you want to keep updating. It's like every other industry. You keep learning yourself, new stuff, new mechanics, new steps. It's very different. But regardless of practice, well, this is a different lifestyle than anything. Usually my mornings are the most important time for me to practice. I believe that when you wake up, your brain is more focused than at 10 p.m. at night, which is different than other people. Somebody like to practice all night. Some people like to practice early morning. Some people practice throughout the day. Me personally, my partner, we like to practice very early. It was very early, like 8 a.m. So I get up usually around 5 or 6 a.m. And then, you get up your morning routine, you get your supplements, you eat, you get on a bus, you go to the studio. And it's a common crowd in the studio, so at 8 a.m., 9 a.m., depends when you arrive. We usually practice up to like 1, 2 p.m. If we don't have anything later, we'll go for lunch, we'll come back, and then we'll practice a little bit more, but not that hardcore as we practice in the morning, because there's a time you can use in practice. You can push your body for like 3-4 hours, then you have to give it a little rest, and then you can push again. That's regardless practice. If you're doing a preparation for competition, it's a little bit different. You will push yourself every morning, and then on weekends we will do rounds. And rounds, we have all the couples from our group, and we dance all 5 dances, full out as much as you can, as strong as you can, as performing you can. You're basically doing a mock of competition, and you do not stop.
With the 5 dances, how long would that actually take? Let's say I've never been to a competition.
Well, let's say each dance is approximately a minute and 40, and since
that's a long time.
Yes, since the music starts, you want to start right away, and you're dancing until the music doesn't stop. You're dancing full out, and then you have a few seconds to bow to catch your breath. You're moving to the next dance. It's competitive. It's an athlete. It's a sport. So it's any other sport. You train your body to breathe throughout dancing, and you train your brain as well not to lose focus, because that's something that you get focused for years. You get learning experience basically. When you're in competition, you're only focused on your partner. That's it. It's basically your dancing. You don't look at the people on the side. You can interact with people, but you don't want to look too much on the side because you can get distracted. Again, some people have it, some people still learn it, some people never learn it.
So I always wonder, because I've never danced in a competition, do you know which songs they're going to play? I mean, you know the genre, but do you know, okay, they're going to play this song, how fast they're going to play it? Do you know in advance?
No, you don't know. There's many playlists that exist in the world. There's so many sambas and cha-chas and rumbas. Sometimes in the competition, let's say competition in the States are pretty much, you heard already the songs, because you compete basically 2-3 times a month. But you can't, like, there's no like, oh, they're gonna play that song. No, that doesn't happen. That actually happens in big European competition, like Blackpool, UK Championship, International Championship, Dutch Open. You'll know the playlist. Let's say you know 20 songs. In those 20 songs you have cha-cha, samba, rumba, paso, jive, and you know when you hear what it's playing, but you don't know which song is gonna play. Not one track. So those competitions usually have CDs you can buy for Blackpool, because Blackpool is the biggest and oldest competition in the world, and there's a live orchestra that's playing actually. So you have actual CD that they sell, and every year there's some changes, but you already know what music is there. So when they play it, you're like, okay, that's the one, and you feel it, and you love it, and you just go and do your thing.
So you dance. Okay, so say we're at practice, your competition is in a couple of months, right? You don't know exactly which song is going to play, but when you have a song, do you perform, do you practice at different tempos?
Let's say we're getting ready for Blackpool, then we'll play for 3 months, we'll play only Blackpool music. Strictly Blackpool music, and then we'll learn the song, you hear the songs, and you're trying to get the best out of the song, you just do the thing.
Okay, so how do you teach? Tell me
involved.
Okay, yeah. Bruises.
Well, let's say that it's a beginner student, and let's say they have a competitive student. The beginner student, well, of course, we go step by step by step. There's I divide it in like a couple of phases that I do with my students. I want to make it comfortable and fun. Right? When you learn all your steps, then I would try a little bit more technique, and then you tell me, do you want to do this as a competitive hobby, or you want to just do it to get educated about it? You want to do it as just a social life? You want to learn salsa and be comfortable when you go out on weekends and events? It's different. Competitive students, it's very strict, very important, very, let's say, very organized, because you have to know what you're going to teach, and when you look at a couple, you have to see right away what are they missing. Let's improve that, let's move on. You don't want to work constantly on one thing. Of course, if the couple is not improving, you have to help them. Your goal is to help them. Your goal is not to make them feel bad about their dancing. Your goal is to help, fix the problem, move on to another thing, and make them look good. So, because that is your product at the end of the day.
So, what attracted you to teach here at the Manhattan Ballroom Dance Studio?
Well, Manhattan Ballroom, it's the best studio in Manhattan, that's for sure. It's always busy, it's always packed, so I can tell you. I think the Manhattan Ballroom is a great spot in the Midtown where you can have a big floor and you have one of the biggest names teaching in the studio. Now, you maybe don't know them, but you just start dancing. But when I see world champions in Latin, in standard, and smooth rhythm coming here to teach with me to share the floor, I feel special because it's a privilege to teach with those kind of people in the room. Also, I like the energy. No, never. I mean, we're all friends in a professional way. We teach our lessons, but then on the side we talk, and it feels like home. It's my second home. My first home is in New Jersey. It's my second home, and I like the energy. I like that it's always packed, and I like that people are nice. Very real people.
So let me just ask you this question. If you're dancing, right? You're a professional dancer, and then you see someone retired with their teacher. Have you ever encountered someone who said, "Oh, straight, just like that," or like to correct you? You never ask.
I will always say yes, because if it's somebody that is coaching me or somebody that is a friend of mine, of course, the person that I know,
Right.
we do that to each other. Like we'll do rounds, and then like my friend Danielle will come in and be like, "Okay, can you just do this stuff a little bit more, look good on you?" And you always take help. It's good.
So do you teach outside of the institution?
Yeah, I have one student that I teach inside, and she's a competitive student of mine, so she's doing really good.
How long have you been teaching her?
Well, since I came here, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because one of my first students, she lives in Long Island, so she can't come here. She comes to Manhattan Ballroom when we have coachings because she loves the space. But it's a situation in life that she has, she can't come to the city all the time, so it's different.
Do you know this?
No.
So we'll edit out. Okay. So can you tell us, the viewers, one or two experiences that you've encountered that changed your perspective on the dancing industry?
Here in the States, right? Well, when I was younger in Serbia, I came here, I grew up more here, and I realized things, you learn to make the difference between good and bad. Good people, bad people, people that will use you, people that will help you. Of course I learned that, and of course I've been through that road, and I've been through a lot at that point. And then you just learn who are the people in the industry. We do this for love and passion, but there's also people who do this strictly for money. And of course, in any industry, there's people who stab you in the back. You learn as you go. You learn your lessons. I trust everybody until they prove me wrong. And when they prove me wrong, I'm done. That's how I do it. But I think that I learned since from beginning in the industry that it's very easy to go on the side, but again, you just have to keep your focus, trust your coaches, and trust the process. So I think that when I came to teach and compete with my students, I learned a lot about the industry. I learned who are the main coaches I learn, who are the main competitions that I have to go, that I want to support, you know, and it's just, and I'm still learning. I still learn, and I believe I'll learn until I'm alive doing this, because there's so many events that come every year. We have more competitions every year. The competitions become bigger, and every year there's more people coming to the States. Usually every few months you have new faces coming in, and you want to see who they are, you want to be friends with them. And I'm like that. I'm very open. I'm very open as a person. I have a lot of friends worldwide. That's why I want to meet everybody. But then when you meet everybody, sometimes they show you a good face, sometimes they don't. But I think that's just human nature. You can't judge that. They are who they are, and that's it.
When was your last competition?
My last competition was actually in Nashville. Yes, in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, this past?
Yes.
Oh yeah, you showed me pictures of him by the pool.
And then, yeah, we placed third in professional Rising Star Latin. And my last competition, my student, it was in New York. And she actually placed also third in the final. That was her first final, and it was really good because for her category, it took a long time for her to get into the final. So I'm very proud of her. She's working hard. Other students are competing in a few weeks, and usually we compete 2 to 3 times per month.
Do you get nervous?
So it's busy. No, I mean, it's pretty familiar when you go on the floor. Of course, you get that 10 seconds of being nervous, but then when the music
You have no time
when
to
you start doing your thing, it's different. It's very different. Of course, you get that little nervous before the floor. You know, when you're lining up with other couples and you're looking who's there, and you're trying to zone out and trying to figure out where you're spacing your partner on the floor. And it's every competition is actually different because there's can be a lot of couples. There can be a few couples. There can be a few rounds before. It's different. You know, it gets really different.
One day
we're going to a competition, right? We'll do it one day.
you're gonna kill me. As I said earlier, you are a distinguished designer in New York City, right? But I'm thinking there's so many boutiques in New York City catered to ballroom dancers, Latin dancers. Why do you feel like you need to create a line for?
Well, I'll tell you this, coming from the women and dancers, like, I think that I already know what girls like, seeing on the floor, talking to people in the studio, talking to a lot of girls to see what kind of dresses they like, because a lot of boutiques had same pattern, same kind of skirts, it just duplicates the number and that's it. My line is very special because my collection is going every 1 to 2 months. I have a new collection, different kind of dresses, different kind of skirts, different kind of style, color, cuts. It's very different, unique, and I put my own name on it, and I create a very good brand called Srdjan. And I have it basically in every studio in New York. You can see on a daily basis a few girls in the studio wearing my dresses, and I'm proud of it because for a very short period of time, I managed to cover New York, and even some Florida studio and some LA studio had already shipping out the dresses. I'm starting a business. Yeah, it's very humbling because you learn a lot of things on the way, and I really like it because I did it on my own. I did photo shoots on my own. I designed it on my own. I have my seamstress, and we work as a little team, and it's very special to me. It's like a little baby, you know, when you're making it, and then when you hear it from other people, the congrats on making it so big already. It's good, you know, it's good, but it doesn't affect my attitude, and I will never be like high in the sky about it because I believe that you have to stay humble and you have to keep updating and keep working and just keep doing it.
So is it only for women?
For now, it's only for women. I have a man collection coming up, but it's
So why
always
start with women? You're a man.
Well,
you know what this feels like.
yes, but for this kind of specifically for the industry, for a man it's easier because it's black dance pants and a top. For a girl, it's way
is it always
more-
black?
It's always black, yeah. And for girls, it's different because think about it. If you're going for an event, are you gonna wear the same dress all the time? So you need a new one. So for every new coaching you have, your coach. For every new rounds or practice, you want to have like few dresses in your closet that you can switch. Why would you be, let's say you're practicing every day, think being in one dress all week. You want to do that? Or you want to have options? So that's why when I talk to girls, when I was creating a formula of my business, I talked to a lot of people and be like, so what kind of dress do you like? I was literally investigating to see what kind of brand I can make out of it. And then when I talked to all the girls, I was like, okay, so I need something that's long, something that's short, something with fringes, something with colors, with flowers, with leopard print, with zebra print, you know, different kind of ideas. And I make a plan, like how can I formalize the collection? And just every month I have a new collection, new outfits, and I can tell you that since my first client bought a dress, I see she still buys dresses from me. It's been almost 8 months, and she still calls me today and be like, okay, when is the new one coming in? So it's not just I have a customer and then say goodbye. I already have a set group of people that I contact on a daily basis, and now I actually start making stuff custom practice wear. They like that too because it's special. It's only one piece.
How long is the process to create? So someone calls you and says,
well, first we talk about the dates. You need it just for practice or you need it for performance or a show. If they need it for a show, we're very strict on date and I'm very strict on deadlines. So I make it the same night we design it. I talk to my worker and I'm like, okay, I need it for this and this. And I'm very, let's say, I don't want to say I'm bossy, but I'm very high point. But I believe that in order to be successful, you have to be serious with what you're doing. So I love her, but I'll be like, you have to make this, like this, like this, like this, and that's it, it's strictly business. Of course, we laugh on the side, but when we have to work, we work. So when I work, we say, you want to make a dress. I talk to you, I'll be like, Jessica, this dress is for March 3rd. Okay, so we have to measure you today, and it's going to be done in a week. And you're like, okay, see you in a week. That's it.
Do you usually tell your customers, okay, there's only a minimum amount of time, like a maximum amount of time between like, when you can actually create the dress because you're so busy, you're dancing?
Yes.
So you say, okay, give me at least a week, give me at least, what is your...
Well, I always give 2 weeks. If they want to custom made, I'll make it 2 weeks because I have to ship it as well. So yeah, I have to be specific with the period of time because in this industry, unfortunately, you have a lot of dressmakers. They will make your dress and everything will be perfectly pitch fine, and the dress will come the day before the con. It's very stressful for dancers because you want to dance in a dress before the con. And usually when you make them, I do ballroom dresses as well, Latin costumes. When you do that on the side, you have to be specific about the dates. Let's say you're competing February 20th. You have to have your dress done February 10th, done, sealed, because you have to dance with it, you have to show it to your coach, if there's any fittings that has to be fixed. But a lot of dressmakers in the world, they deliver it a few days before the con because they feel comfortable doing it. And it's very bad for business because then dancers are stressed out. If there's anything that has to be changed in the dress, you're doing it overnight, so then you don't sleep. So it's a lot of stress. But I specifically want to change that. For my business, I always send to my clients, it's done by that date, and sometimes even earlier. I will call them if I'm working on a costume, the Latin dress. I will call them like 2 nights before, and I'll be like, okay, so your dress is done. And she's like, really? It's done? Can I see it? I was like, yeah, just if you can come. It's 1 a.m. I don't care. I don't sleep. I have people coming in at 2, 3 a.m. for costumes because they were like, they want to take it. They live in a different part of the state. They would drive in, and of course we talked about it before. And they're excited and they appreciate the work, and I appreciate the business.
What kind of fabrics? Well, actually, this is one of your creations.
Yes, that's actually one of my dresses.
It's just stands. Well, you'll see me later on. I wanna dance.
Later on, you will dance. We'll see the dress.
Yeah, we'll see the dress.
Well, right now I use the fabrics from Italy.
That's why I'm nervous.
Specifically, I use Italian fabrics because they're very good and very quality. It's the feel of the skin. When you put the dress on, you can feel the fabric. So this is why
I was so nervous.
You can't order online.
I was like, don't.
You can order online. I don't do orders like send me pictures. I was like, no, let's make a meeting. Let's do an appointment, and you have to put a dress on to feel it because it's different on a model and it's different on you. You know, so it's. You feel special.
I do feel special. This is like really nice. I love it. It's very soft.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, so I just want to say that I really admire you. You inspire me. I come here. dance, I'm just so excited. I had a dance teacher before, but I just feel like with you, you're just on point, you're strict, but I love it. Like, my hand is this way, you go this way. Like, you know, it's just perfect. I just want to thank you for being who you are, being a great instructor. But I also want to ask you, like, are you a spiritual person? Because I feel like you're always positive, you always give a positive vibes. And if I'm nervous or if I'm upset that I didn't get a dance right, you're like, it's okay, just do better. I'll help you. Are you spiritual?
Yes, I mean, I believe everybody should be spiritual because in a world that we live today, it's very easy to become negative. It's very easy to become self-sabotage. You know, like it's like this. And of course, I caught myself sometimes in a mood of, oh my god, like I'm so stressed out. You know, it's time, and then I'm just okay, chill. You know, there's many hours in the day you can do and just have to fix that thing and move on. I believe in positive energy, I believe in meditation, I believe that you should always be open-minded. If you see a negative person, stay away. Or if I have a negative student or my student gets negative or self-sabotage, I'll be like, okay, chill, breathe in, you're in the ballroom right now, we're doing this, just listen what I'm saying, it will be easier for you to process that. I learned let's say this, I teach myself different ways of being positive about the life, positive about the health, about the money, about the training, about the practice, about the competition, because throughout the day you can go to so many different moods, you know, you wake up, you can wake up happy or you can wake up really bad mood. Like if you didn't sleep, you're like, oh my god, now I have to get up and I have 11 lessons to teach, and then I have 2 dress appointments, and then I have rounds, and I have practice, I have gym, so I'll be home at 5 a.m. Okay, and then I have to practice again at 8 a.m. If I wake up cranky, it's gonna be like, ugh. But then I just play something good, you know, something's gonna get me in the mood, and I just go, because I believe that you have goals and you have time limits, and you just have to do it.
Have you always been like that? Like since as a
I think I always been positive as a child. I never argue. I don't like arguments. Even today, if I get into arguments with my best friend or my partner, I always be like, okay, let's chill for 5 minutes. Let's meet up and let's talk, because I don't like screaming or I don't like, you did this, I did that. Where's your leg? Why are you getting on your leg? Timing. Just talk, because when you talk, you can exchange good words and you can say, okay, this is how I feel. Say it, and then say how you feel. Let's talk about it. Coming to States, I learned a lot about that. Back at home, I was just driven and ambitious. I didn't have situations where I become negative, you know, because I was not exposed to so many people. My country is not that big, so I didn't get into stress out situation. New York is so big that on a daily basis. Well, that's the thing. When you teach a lot of lessons, you see a lot of people, and a lot of people come with different energy. They can come, you know, angry, depressed, sad, happy, in different ways, and you're like a sponge. You take all of that, and what I learned is to actually zone out, be like, okay, I took your energy, it's not gonna affect me, you know. So my goal when I teach my student is, she gets stressed out, my goal is to do what I have to do in that lesson, make her learn that, and move on and finish with a smile, you know. The students will come to my lesson, they'll cry, you know, they'll laugh, but sometimes it gets really bad. Like they will get into an argument with somebody outside, they'll come in, they'll be like, I don't really want to take this lesson, I don't know why I'm doing this, I don't want to, you know, now I'm being depressed and I'm not happy, and I'm like, hey, it's okay, you know, you're hearing me now, let's have fun, you know. And usually 99% I'll end up that lesson, she'll laugh, you know, she'll have so much fun.
That actually happened to me.
That happened to you, and it was like, thank you so much, you know, and then you just feel better. And I love doing that. I love making people happy, for my partner, for my clients, for my students, for my parents, for my friends. I just love giving, because I believe that in the universe you have to give in order to give back. You know, you ask for so many things. You ask for a great future, you ask for a healthy life, and you ask for, you ask for a lot of things. Of course, you have to work for it. It's not going to fall from the sky. But now and then you check in and be like, okay, no, I did this and this. I hope you still, it's coming in my way. So that's how I see it.
So what's next for you? competitions, an album? I don't know. It seems like you're doing everything. You know?
Well, there's a lot of things. I have a lot of things going on. My schedule is very packed. Usually, I have a 2-week schedule where I will have dress appointments. My practice is every day, so that's like weekly schedule. Competitions, we have a calendar that we go through, and we know how much we travel. We prepare ourselves financially, we prepare ourselves mentally. There's a lot of things that is going on, so that's why I say it's a different lifestyle. It's very different than anybody else because we always want to go. We always go, we always move, and for somebody who's outside of this world, they'll be like, oh my god, you guys are like, I love it, but it's like, do you have a life? But when somebody asks me, do you have a life? They'll be like, this is my life. I love this. I love traveling. I love expensive hotels. I love nice dinners. I love to see cities, you know, to travel, to see the world, and this is what I do. This is, you know,
How else are you going to see it?
yes, and sometimes some people don't understand that, and just to be like, oh, but you just, you know, you're in the studio all day.
I get that. Oh, what? You're going to school, work full time, school full time, master's school.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, and then what do you do on Wednesday? Like,
Yeah, like
you don't have any time to sleep. You know, I like to be tired from doing things, not being tired from being idle.
yeah,
Sitting
so I
around.
would never understand people who will be like, okay, so I came from work and I watched TV all night. I'm like, so what did you learn something? This is how I see it. Did you learn something from watching TV, or just, you know, drink beer and watch TV and that's it? So for me, sitting on a couch, I'll be like, like, what are we doing next? Like, you know, because I feel that I personally, I need 40 hours a day, every day, because when I wake up, I always start thinking about something, and when I go to bed, I'm thinking about something for tomorrow. I go to sleep, get up, I go and do it. Because, yeah, it's always working, but I think that's how it should be. In your 20s, 30s, that's how you should be. If you want to have a successful life, a good future, you have to put something in.
I'm having something.
Yeah.
No, not to cut you off, but so many people are like, Justin, you're 26.
Yeah, it's
why
like,
aren't you at a club? It's just like, I like music.
why are you not married? Why do you have a kid? I'm like, well, first of all, I'm not financially stable. I don't have my own apartment. I don't have my own car to have a kid or like a successful relationship. You have to create everything, and before, that's how I see it. Before you do it, I can't have any of that because I see a lot of my friends back home. They have kids. You know, they're married. They're divorced. I'm like, okay, I'm not judging you, but like, I will never do that because this is how I see life. I work until I'm like mid-30s, then I want to enjoy. I want to travel, I want to see places, I want to like try different kind of kitchen, you know, dinners and lunches, and let's have lunch in Paris, you know, like I want that lifestyle and I'm going for it. I want to have...
This is your time to be selfish in a way, like, you know,
I want to have a financial freedom, in a way that I want to, yes, but I want to help my family, I want to help everybody else. Like, I will tell you the situation. I went to visit Serbia, and usually when I go, I give money to my parents. I buy a lot of stuff for them while I'm over there because it's better to buy than to ship. I can't ship out the water dishwasher. So, and then randomly, I did this a couple of times. I had, you know, you met people on the street that collect money, and this is how my nature is. I was walking to get my haircut, and I was just listening to music, going through my phone. This woman stopped me. I was like on headphones. So first, I didn't even hear what she said. I just saw the little picture for a boy for eye surgery or something. I literally took out like $50 in Serbian dinners, $50 and be like, here you go. Like, I didn't even think about it. I didn't count how much money I had in my wallet. I just took whatever I had. I just give it to her. I was like, she needed it. It's fine. I make good money for myself. It's fine. Because over there it's very hard because let's say the average paycheck is maybe like $200 and the prices are like here. So it's to live a life there, I think you really have to be strong in your head. But I have a lot of friends who actually want to leave, trying to create a future of their own. There's a lot of young people leaving the country, so that's a bad thing. You know, there are a lot of old people there. So I try to give as much.
This one's you are a good person. The story that you're telling is amazing. I'm just so happy. So you all pinch me, right?
No. Only we're not doing your stuff unless.
So now